Hello, lovelies. Welcome to the Love Labyrinth. Today we're threading through the commitment maze, and oh, it's going to be a journey. Let's talk about that little word that holds so much weight in our relationships: commitment. What do you think it means in today's world, Dan?
Commitment, Emily, is a fascinating concept. At its core, it's a promise, a pledge to someone or something that you're all in. Today, more than ever, it's multifaceted. It's not just about romance, it's about dedicating yourself to a partnership that evolves over time, learning and adapting together.
I couldn't agree more. It's like saying, hey, I choose you, Pikachu, every single day, even when the going gets tough. But why do you think it's such a big deal now, Dan? Hasn't commitment always been the cornerstone of relationships?
Yes, but the modern world has transformed it. We have boundless options and opportunities that our grandparents couldn't even dream of. It adds complexity to staying committed because inherently, humans tend to wonder if the grass is greener elsewhere. Recognizing the value of commitment amidst all this choice is both more challenging and more significant.
So true. It's like we're kids in a candy store, but we've pledged to stick to our favorite chocolate. There's so much out there, and it can be tempting to explore. But when you find that special someone, commitment can turn that chocolate into the sweetest thing you've ever known.
And that's the essence of commitment in modern relationships. It's consciously choosing your partner every day. It's a dynamic process that involves communication, understanding, and a bit of compromise. Looking forward to digging deeper into this with you, Emily.
Oh, we will, Dan. And we'll get into the nitty-gritty of it all. For now, let's promise our wonderful listeners an episode packed with insight, advice, and of course, lots of love.
Absolutely. Stay tuned as we dissect commitment, explore its challenges, and share expert advice on how to maintain a strong bond in your relationship. All that and more, right here on the Love Labyrinth.
So let's dive into the heart of commitment. It's like you're choosing your player two for life's arcade game, right? But what does that really mean in today's fast-paced, swipe-right world?
Exactly, Emily. The essence of commitment has evolved. Historically, it was largely about duty and social contracts. Nowadays, it's more about ongoing choice and mutual growth.
I love that. Mutual growth. It's like being in a relationship means you're both signing up for the gym, but for your emotional biceps. Flexing those love muscles has got to mean more than just sticking around, right?
Absolutely. Commitment is not just about duration, it's about the quality of that time. It's choosing your partner consistently through the highs and lows, and not just out of convenience.
Quality time is the best. But let's get real for a sec. In a world with so many choices and distractions, doesn't that make commitment kind of a superpower?
In a sense, yes. The ability to focus on what truly matters, to prioritize your relationship amidst endless options, that's a form of modern-day courage. It demands a clarity of purpose and intent.
Clarity of purpose. I'm here for it. It's like saying, hey, there may be plenty of fish in the sea, but you're my Nemo. But how do you think people can recognize and nurture this kind of commitment?
That's the crux, isn't it? Recognition comes from understanding your own values and what you want from a relationship. Nurturing it, however, involves open communication, respect, and shared experiences that reinforce the bond.
Shared experiences, yes, like those epic road trips or binge-watching the same series for the umpteenth time. But also, doesn't it involve navigating the tough times together? The stuff that's not Instagram-worthy?
Precisely. Those moments of adversity are where commitment is truly tested. It's easy to be committed when everything is going well. The real question is whether you can maintain that commitment when faced with challenges.
So true. And speaking of challenges, we'll be tackling some of the hiccups couples face in staying committed in our next segment. Stay tuned for some real talk on the modern love battlefield. So Dan, when we talk about commitment, it seems like the landscape's totally changed, hasn't it? Social media, dating apps, career pressures. It's like the promise of forever has to navigate through a minefield.
Exactly, Emily. The commitment of today isn't just about staying together. It's about actively choosing one another amidst a world full of distractions and options. One of the biggest challenges is the paradox of choice. When you have so many options, sticking to a decision becomes harder.
Oh, like when I'm trying to pick a flavor at the ice cream shop. But seriously, choice isn't the only hurdle. Think about external pressures, family expectations, societal standards, and the fear of missing out on personal growth or opportunities.
You're right. And another issue is the shifting perceptions of what commitment entails. For some, the line between personal freedom and joint decision-making has become a tightrope walk. This can lead to a tug-of-war between independence and partnership.
Absolutely. And don't get me started on communication, or the lack thereof. We're so connected online, yet conversing heart-to-heart about expectations and boundaries in a relationship often gets lost in translation.
Communication is key. Modern relationships can't thrive on texts and emojis alone. Couples need to be proactive in addressing issues, setting realistic expectations, and engaging in meaningful dialogue.
Yeah. On a brighter note, though, facing these challenges together can actually fortify a relationship. It's all about teamwork and resilience. Overcoming obstacles can bring couples closer and deepen their commitment, don't you think?
Undoubtedly, it's about finding balance and growing together. And remember, no relationship is perfect. It's the effort and the willingness to work through the tough times that often define the strength of a commitment.
Oh, Dan, that's so true. Listeners, no matter what challenges you're facing in your commitment journey, just know that it's the dedication and love you put in that paves the way to a lasting bond.
And that's a wrap for today's segment on challenges to commitment. We hope you found this discussion enlightening and feel more equipped to navigate the complexities of modern relationship commitments.
All right, Love Labyrinth listeners, we're about to dive into some incredible insights for today's commitment episode. Get ready for a treasure trove of expert advice that's bound to change the way you think about modern love.
Exactly, Emily. We've selected some of the most knowledgeable relationship experts for a discussion that's both deep and practical. Let's get to the heart of what it means to maintain a commitment in today's fast-paced world.
First up, we have Dr. Lovegood, a renowned relationship therapist, who's going to share her perspective on the role of personal growth in sustaining a long-term relationship. Dr. Lovegood, what's your take on nurturing commitment?
Well, Emily and Dan, it's crucial for individuals to understand that commitment is not a stagnant state. It's a dynamic process. As people evolve, their relationships must be flexible enough to grow with them. This means embracing change together and supporting each other's aspirations.
So, would you say it's important for couples to routinely evaluate their goals and expectations with each other?
Absolutely, Dan. Regular communication about needs and goals is essential. Couples should approach these conversations with openness and without judgment, which fosters a strong bond built on mutual respect and understanding.
That sounds wonderfully constructive. But let's talk about the flip side. What are some of the red flags that commitment might be waning in a relationship?
Good question, Emily. One major red flag is avoidance of difficult conversations. When partners shy away from discussing issues, it can indicate a lack of commitment to resolving conflicts together. Another warning sign is a decline in shared experiences. Commitment involves creating a life together, and that means actively choosing to spend quality time as a couple.
Right, and this aligns with what we've seen in studies about long-term relationship success. Communication and shared experiences are key. But what about individuality? How can couples balance their personal interests with their commitment to the relationship?
That's a delicate balance indeed. My advice is to encourage personal hobbies and friendships outside the relationship. This not only promotes individual well-being, but also enriches the relationship by bringing in new perspectives and experiences.
Love that. It's about creating a relationship that's a cozy home base, but still lets you explore the world on your own terms.
Well said. To wrap this up, could you offer our listeners one actionable tip for strengthening commitment today?
Certainly. Start a tradition of a weekly check-in with your partner. Discuss what's going well, what could be improved, and how you can support each other in the coming week. It's a simple practice that can have profound effects on your commitment level.
I absolutely adore that. A weekly check-in sounds like the perfect way to keep love's flame burning bright. Thank you, Dr. Lovegood, and to all our experts for sharing their wisdom.
We hope you found these insights as valuable as we have. Remember, commitment is a journey, not a destination. Keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep loving.
All right, lovebirds, we're diving into the strategies for success. It's the secret sauce for a zesty commitment. Now, I believe it all starts with keeping things fresh and exciting. Don't you think, Dan?
Certainly, Emily. While surprises and spontaneity are important, let's not overlook the essentials. Communication. It's the foundation. Partners must be clear on their expectations, values, and goals. Success in commitment entails syncing these vital elements.
Absolutely, Dan. Speaking the same love language keeps the rhythm in tune. But what about when life throws a curveball? I say dance through the rain. Adaptability has to be a staple in your relationship toolkit.
Indeed, adaptability is key. It's supported by the willingness to grow together as a unit. This includes facing challenges head-on and embracing change, turning it into an opportunity for relationship enhancement.
Amen to that. And let's sprinkle in a hefty dose of appreciation. Showing gratitude for your partner strengthens the bond. Surprise them with a thank you note or their favorite treat to show some love.
Emily, you're spot on. Recognition goes a long way. Alongside that, we need commitment to personal development. Being the best version of oneself contributes to a healthier, more fulfilling partnership.
Preach, Dan. And hey, don't forget to laugh together. Shared humor is like glue for a relationship. It keeps you stuck together in the best possible way.
Humor is indeed a potent bonding agent. Now, to touch on the practical side, setting up regular relationship reviews can be remarkably beneficial. Discuss what's working and what isn't. It's like a tune-up for your commitment engine.
Relationship tune-ups. Now there's an idea everyone should get behind. It's all about sustaining the spark, right, Dan?
Correct. Maintenance is less about fixing what's broken and more about nurturing what's thriving. In conclusion, success in commitment comes down to a blend of heart, humor, and hard work. It's crafting a love that lasts, by design, not just by default.
Beautifully said, Dan. So, lovers, keep these strategies in your romance repertoire, and you'll be navigating the commitment course like pros. Stay tuned for more insights on the Love Labyrinth. All right, Love Labyrinth listeners, it's time for our favorite segment, Listener Stories. We've got some incredible tales from you all about commitment. I love this part, don't you, Dan?
It's always revealing to hear direct experiences. Learning from real-life stories can offer unique insights into how people navigate commitment.
Totally. Let's dive into the first story. We have one from Kara in Seattle. She writes about how she and her partner have a date night jar where they both contribute ideas for dates. Kara says it keeps things spontaneous and they're always committing to making time for each other. Isn't that adorable?
It's a practical solution to avoid routine, which is one of the challenges to commitment we discussed earlier. Scheduling regular quality time is a solid strategy.
Here's another one. Mark from Austin shared that for them, commitment meant being open to counseling when they hit a rough patch. They committed not just to each other, but to the process of growing together.
A proactive approach. Commitment is not just about the good times, but also about working through challenges. Seeking help is a sign of strength and dedication.
Love that perspective. This next story gives me goosebumps. Janelle from Toronto says she and her partner write letters to their future selves, reflecting on their hopes and promises. They plan to open them on their 10th anniversary.
That's a long-term view of commitment, projecting their shared future. It also creates a tangible reminder of their bond and the promises they've made.
It's the stuff of rom-coms. Okay, I've got one more before we wrap up this segment. Tom in Miami tells us that he and his partner have a Why I Love You whiteboard in their kitchen where they write new reasons each day.
Reaffirming appreciation for one another daily can significantly strengthen a relationship. Small gestures often mean the most over time.
Dan, it's been so heartwarming to hear how our listeners are creatively committing to love. It really shows there's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to relationships.
Indeed, these stories highlight the importance of personalizing commitment. What works for one couple might not work for another, and that's perfectly okay.
So true. Whether it's date jars, counseling, or love letters, it's about finding what keeps that love labyrinth exciting and meaningful for you. Thanks for sharing your stories, everyone.
And thank you for listening. Remember, commitment is a journey, not a destination. Keep exploring the pathways of your relationships.
All right, listeners, it's time for one of our favorite segments, Dan's Corner. Today, Dan's going to break down the